Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. Welcome back. I want to thank you for all the subscribers watching all these videos. Really, my goal is to create these videos so a brand new person can use the information and be able to get into the hobby. It is really a wonderful hobby and very rewarding to bring back something that totally dead back to life and sing again. I did my best to organize all these videos so you can find it much easier. The way you access it, go to my channel, select playlist, and feel free to access all those videos. And meanwhile you're here in this channel, go ahead and subscribe. And this is where is located subscription icon. And select the bell so you'll be notified for upcoming video, and select the thumbs up so YouTube suggests this video to others. Thank you so much. Let me give you some background, what this radio is all about. Several months ago, sometime in the middle of last year, I saw this Yo-Yo Magnavox radio, on Marketplace, and so I contacted him to know more about this, and then I went over there to see the radio. And meanwhile we were talking, he mentioned about he have several other radios, transistor radios, from his grandfather. He showed it to me. Then he also mentioned that he was teenager. He bought this shortwave radio receiver, and he used to use it for his operating a ham radio. And as a matter of fact, he showed me his card. And I offered him to help him. I said, hey, I never worked in any receiver like this before. The one I'm working on usually is much older, or is a transistor, is a tube radio. But I will be glad to look at it for him to see what the issues are. He mentioned the fuse blown up, and he changed the fuse, but it's not coming on. Something's wrong with the volume control. And so I brought it home, and this is it. This is actually his radio. Let's try to figure these things out. Hopefully I can fix it for him, because it's going to bring back a lot of good memory for him. There's a two screw here. It seems like there's two here, and I assume there's two other side as well. Yeah, there's two here too. Let's take those apart and check inside. I don't want to hook it up to anything, because this belongs to someone else. I want to make sure that everything is okay before we turn it on. I don't want to mess up his radio. I have a high integrity, and if I promise somebody I'm going to do something, I want to take care of what they give it to me to fix for them. As you know, there's not that many people working this type of things anymore. These days people throw this away, and majority of them end up in Goodwills or other places, because as I know, you cannot take it anywhere till they repair it for you. And those old days is finished. Every place that I know they used to work in this, they all closed many years ago, and I haven't seen them around last 30 years or so. Used to be a TV repair place close to our house, and that's is gone long time ago as well. So let's take this out here. I want to see what the issue is. Let's start go to other side as well. I'm more into much older radio than this. But since it means a lot to him, let's figure it out if we can fix it. As you know, I don't give up that easy, but let's figure these things out. I put it in a cardboard so I can move it around without damaging anything. They sit on top of the cardboard. I assume this comes up like that. Yeah, that's the speaker right there. See it? Yeah, that's internal speaker. As you know, I always like to take pictures of before taking it apart to see how the connection was. So this way, I'm never going to forget. You see, take a picture, remember later on how to put it together. I like to put the cover away, because the cover is heavy. It's not a solder, it's just you pull it out like that. That is good. Make it simple. So this side, oh, it has tons of capacitors. All right, what I did, I take the bottom part out to get to that knob that is mentioned that is not working. So I need to check that out. So there are several screws underneath. This came out. I'm going to put this aside as well. And this is under the chassis. This is how it looks. All right. Seems like from here I can get to it much better. He told me that this knob is not working. All right, let's figure this out now. One thing immediately I noticed underneath is, see, this is bended. See how it bended? And it's hitting this bar. It totally bended. So first I have to fix this. See, it seems like something headed right here. It bended. So this is not bended anymore. I use the tool, of course, gently keep pressing until now it's straight. All right, at least that is fixed. Let's see what else we can do with this. All right, let's take this out here. Let's see if we can fix it or not. To do that, get just a regular screwdriver. There's a hole here. You go loosen it up like that. It comes out like that. Now, then there is a little, let me put this so you can see. There's something here. You just want to take this out like that. Let's see if we can loosen it up. I want to take some pictures as a reference, wherever the wires they go. Yeah, this is an on and off switch, and it's not working. Let's figure it out. I might be able just to take it out from here without unsoldering. Let's see if that's going to work or not. You see what happened? It is a plastic, if you can see it or not. See the plastic broken. Now you tell me why they use plastic, why they did that. Doesn't make any sense, does it? That's why the plastic broke off. That's why it doesn't go on and off. Alright, so this is not gonna work. Thanks, Radio Shack. I never saw plastic before. This is the first time. So that was the issue. I'm going to take a couple of pictures of this, send it to the owner to see if we can find one of this online. I have a bunch of this, but none of them gonna fit. Hopefully he can get this online. That was my goal, just take it out to see what happening. Alright? See, the problem with this is there is a 4 connection in the back. Of course there is a 3 in the top. See right there. So the back, I found the 2 connection. Those are simple to find, but the 4 connection, what this receiver need. See, there's 4 of them, and so that is what this radio need. All right, we were able to find this on eBay, and this might work. Of course, in the back there's 2 connection. I'm not going to use the switch portion. I'm just going to use this portion. So let's take this out of the box. This is the information about this. As a matter of fact, the owner ordered this part that came directly to my house. And he and I, we discussed about it, and we find this might work. So again, we're going to try this. Let's take this out of the box and see if this can work. I'm going to use a test wire to test everything, before take this apart totally. Now let's talk about some safety issue. You're dealing with electricity. It's very dangerous. It can kill you, so be very careful, please. I need a few equipment that you can purchase it in Amazon First one, you must have isolated transformer to keep you safe when you work in the antique radios, and also variable condenser, or they call it variac. You can actually adjust the amount of electricity comes inside the radio. And this one, the dim bulb tester, you can actually build this yourself. You can Google it. There's tons of information out there. This is the setup I'm using on my workbench. Please make sure you know to use this equipment to keep you safe. All right, I checked everything. It looked like okay. I'm not sure about this big capacitor. Usually, capacitors they go bad in this. So I hook it up to the variac, and I'm gonna start like let's say 20 volts, and gradually I'm going to increase it. It's going to be a long process. I'm going to try to see if all these capacitors energize again. If you hook up directly to electricity, you're going to put a lot of pressure on the capacitors, especially if the radio hasn't started for many years. It's going to damage a lot of things. So the best way, hook it up to variac and gradually increase the electricity comes inside the radio. And always they start like 5 volts. And let it sit for a few minutes, then go to 10 volts. Let it sit for a few minutes. Just be, patient. This is going to take time, but that way at least you're charging, all the capacitors, and you give them time. Hopefully, they're going to rebuild itself. Hopefully, no damages, already happened, because you told me the fuse blew out. And that usually the reason. If the fuse blew out, it might be some type of issue with the radio. As you know, anytime you work in any radio like this, outside the chassis, any radio, you want to also hook it up to the transformer. Yes, that is very important to do that because you want to be safe. Okay. All right. Hook this up with test wires from the new one that we received. We purchased it on eBay, and I ran this to the old one that was broken, like this. Let's see if it works or not. I set it up in AM station, and as you see, see, I can go more. Last, see that? So this works. So what the goal is now, to take this apart, put the top portion, install it in the switch, the on and off switch to the radio. So that's what we're going to do next. Hopefully they will fit. I hope it fit. Let me turn off the radio and then try to run a test run. Of course, I've hooked up this radio to the antenna I have. Is about 20 feet long antenna, and it sounds like the radio station working, AM. I'm not going to check the short waves because I don't have the right antenna to do that. So I turn off the radio, see the light went off. Now I'm going to take everything apart. I need to document all these wires, where they go. Let me write this down or take a picture of it so I remember. Because if you put these two wires, this outside wire, if you put it opposite, then the volume control work opposite. If you turn it down, the sound going high. So these are very important when you hook up. That's why you want to check those to see how they hooked up. So let me take a couple of pictures. Always take a picture. That, believe me, it's going to save you a lot of headache. Okay, the center tab always center. So that's, we're going to remember that, right? So let's take this out. The thickness of these two, they are same. See that? We look everywhere to find those type of connection, the switch. So we have 4 the back. We could not find it. The only one I could find was like this. With David's help, we figured these things out. And he's the owner of this radio, as I mentioned to you before. I'm fixing it for him so he can enjoy it, start listening to it. So we're going to take this out. You see the bottom like that? See that? Same thing we have right here. Let me bring it closer so you can see. See, that is awesome. So I'm going to turn it off. It is off. See? Then it was right here. I'm hoping it'll work. It gotta work. Okay. Okay, it's there. And yeah, off, on. Yeah, that's gonna work. So I install this. Later on, I'm going to cut the shaft. It's much easier to do it after than before. And so now I'm going to unsolder this from the old volume control to the new one. Of course, the black goes to the all the way to the other side. Center is center. So let's get it started. Let's take the black one out first. Alright, this is out. Gonna add some solder to this. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's do the last one. Alright, they're all finished. Let's put everything together, the back cover. We are done with this. I already sent the owner David, the short video. Told him that this thing is ready. I'm sure he's going to be so excited when he finds out this actually works. Especially, when he bought this brand new when he was really young. And this radio means a lot to him. That's why I fixed it for him, so he can enjoy it again. So let me put the cover back together. I told David that he need to change all these capacitors, because those are old capacitors, they all need to be replaced. So he's going to take care of those on his own. We had a horrible time to find, we keep looking find a switch with 4 connection. Then I say, you know what? In the past, what I did, just the switch portion was bad. Volume control was fine with one of my radio. And that's what I did in the past. I said, hey, we might be able to do the same thing here. This one, the switch is working well, but the volume control, that cheap plastic they made, why they designed it this way, I had no clue. All right, we have all the screws. Again, don't tie the stuff too much. Just a little bit. As soon as they stop, let it go, because you don't want to mess up the thread. Or what we need to do with this now, we're going to take this out. You see, the shaft is pretty long, so I have to measure it according how tall was the old one out of this bag. This was the old one. I see it's a very short shaft. So let's take this out. Here, it is an off position, of course. Let's see how long it is. So that's the size we want. If I think just cut this half off, we should be fine. Right against here. That should be fine. So this extra one, see, this lip need to be cut off. To make it a tool, I might just do it by hand. Alright, I use this just to cut this off. Alright, see this piece is off. Alright, I'm going to use the file. Just taking some sharp area off. Alright, this mark should be an off right here. So we're going to cut here a little bit. See right there, I'm going to just now file it this way a little bit. The reason I'm doing that, when you put the screw in, so you can hold it. Otherwise it turns around, you know, we get loosened up. Of course I could use the Dremeller, but because I'm indoor I don't want to use that. And outside it was raining, so I'm going to try to do inside the house. But with Dremeller you can just do this quickly. I think this should do it. Yeah, that should be fine. Use the vacuum cleaner to clean all this, you know, take all the dust out. Now we're going to install this and then test the radio. It's right here, of course. Alright, this is on and off. That's installed. Alright, before we get started, we're going to use this product. You have these switches, you know, I'm going to just use maybe a couple of drops in each. Just going back and forth a couple of times. Make sure the oil gets in the bottom. Since this radio is sitting for a long time, we want to make sure the contact be lubricated. Okay, that should be fine. Alright folks, this radio is finished. Everything put together. This is done. Now let's go through the station. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I'm doing it over this way.
We cover the issues you care about, all written by our experts in policy, government affairs, and business.
Not just wrong, sick.
See, speaking of more station.
Your career is training people to meet it. Get skills. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify.
No hay que comprar el equipo si llama usted ahora mismo. Así es, obtenga un sistema de seguridad para proteger su casa por solo $27.99.
He is the guy that's running the sport. Here is the difference. Like when we hear, commissioner, oh yeah, he's the guy who's in charge, or the lady who's in charge, whoever. I dare say that what the SEC is doing now, which, well, they're just acquiring 2 new programs. No.
At the age of 86, Moses was one of the architects of Mississippi's Freedom Summer in 1964.
As you see, this is speaking of multi-stations. Alright, this is after finish with the radio. David came by and picked it up. And he sent me a picture. As you see, he already hooked up an external speaker, and also that he still has the manual. David, thank you for sending that to me. I'm glad that you're using the radio and enjoy listening to it again. It was my pleasure to assist you to bring this radio back to life again. At this time, I want to take the opportunity and thank my subscribers with their uplifting comments. You always encourage me to upload more videos, since this is just a hobby of mine. Again, I appreciate you. Enjoy all these videos, and you all have an awesome day. Take care. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when a new video being uploaded. You have a great day.